All right, hello and welcome back. This is part 2 on formal academic style. We left off with number 6, so we will pick up with the 7th point. And the 7th point says that page setup should be exactly as your format instructs. No fancy fonts, no messing with the spaces, no bold titles. Most of these look like wasted space. Following the format precisely makes your essay easier to read. This means that when you're asked in MLA or Chicago or APA to set your page up a certain way, just make sure it looks that way. All the other stuff makes your paper harder to read and to find the things that we're looking for in it. So keep that in mind and look back at the examples. Number 8, speaking of spaces, check your spacing after punctuation. This is a common sloppy error. It just looks like no attention to detail. You can see no space right here. And then on this one, 1 space is recommended, but 2 is acceptable if you're consistent. You can see the extra spaces here. They got 3 spaces actually. You'll see some people will only use 1. That's kind of the recommended style at this point. But 2 used to be the standard before computer publishing. So that is still used often also. 9, avoid questions. This is a weak technique that's overused, and I know you're sitting there thinking, yeah, but my questions are really good. Can't I include them? No, it's just filler. If you framed your ideas correctly and are providing answers, why ask the question when you could just provide the evidence for the answer? And I hope you see from that paragraph with 2 questions in it, it's just way longer and wordier, and there's very little substance. The whole point of it is just don't use questions. And we see this in papers. I've seen papers more often. I've seen papers that have a lot of questions in them, and it kind of ruins the argument. It makes it look like there's really no good points. So look, if you have questions, make sure that you look at them. And I would really recommend trying to take them out if you can. No exclamation marks. This isn't a yelling contest. You're trying to convince a fair-minded reader that your point is valid. Exclamation marks make you look like a crazy person yelling at pigeons. Same with emojis. It's just not kind of not typical of academic style, so avoid those. Do not use an author's first name, also a very casual thing. You are not friends. Either use his or her full name or just the last name. According to Jeff, it's not very professional. You could say according to Jeff Taylor, it's not very professional. That's okay. Or you could say according to Taylor, it's not very professional. But you want to just avoid the first name. You guys need to watch sexist language, even words like mankind, it's humankind, you chauvinist. And even in the example underneath, you see 1, so this person's made the effort. 1 should always consider, and then his audience, his or her audience, when writing in the academic style. Try to look for cases where in your own writing where maybe you have you've made a mistake similar to this. You've assumed gender in one way or another. So 13, Mr. Herzog once said that when quoting a source, avoid the word said. You do not need to tell me that the author or article said it. Just tell me what they said Mr. Herzog. And the point of this is that said it's really redundant in a research paper over and over and over again when you're citing sources and you're using said every single time. So please try to switch that up. In conclusion, do not use words like in conclusion. Second of all, first, and here again, here's the example. First, it makes your paper less professional. Secondly, it tends to create a clunky transition. Finally, it is a technique for developing writers, not academic writers. And that is maybe the biggest point. If you want to try to develop your writing to get it stronger, some of these things that you used to do that kind of helped you along, you're trying to improve upon those. So if you're announcing every transition, it might actually be hurting your writing more than helping it. And just try to keep working on it, try to keep getting better. If you have questions, let me know. And if there's any way I can help, send me an email. And I hope you're well, and I hope to see you soon.